Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jump Up Supercast, the only podcast on the internet where the hosts can now be stored on the cloud. I'm Will, and joining me this week, Brandon.
For a low price of $16 a year.
Ills.
I'll send your mom home.
And Muzamil.
I don't think Will... I think Will is just a bunch of stat numbers. That's not worth $16.
I am a .txt file. That's a fact. Yeah. There's
the charm of one.
Well, that's true.
Up.
Shut up, Muzzy.
How are we doing this week?
Why are you so aggressive today? Talking about my mother, telling me to shut up?
It wasn't your mom. Who the fuck?
My mom.
Who said anything about your mom? I like Miss Muzzy. She's a wonderful
not me
woman.
though, but she's cool.
No, not you. Definitely not. You got all your father's genes.
Yeah. Wow.
Mr. Muzamil's great too. All right.
You don't know
So
for sure.
I mean, besides personally attacking me and my mother, how are we doing this week?
I'm okay with it.
Pretty good. I am.
Yeah.
I'm angry. Gamers rise up. All right.
All right, let's just do it.
Gamers
Man.
go-
How about
Copy
that?
that.
That's my mood.
Copy that. So Ill's great news. This will probably be the last time we talk about Pokemon for a while.
Don't
What you think?
don't give me hope, okay?
I know. Don't get me. Don't.
No,
I
I
don't want to lie
genuinely think
to
this
you.
is the last time in a while. I'm feeling it. This is, know.
Yeah.
We'll see you around June.
We'll see about
Yeah.
that.
But the last piece of the puzzle has fallen into place for the whole last year of news related to Pokemon Sword and Shield and Gen 8. You may remember back in like May of last year, they said Pokemon Home will be replacing Pokemon Bank. It'll be launching in 2020. You may remember back in the Pokemon Direct like 3 weeks ago, they said we'll tell you more about when it launches in February. Well, when you're hearing this, it's now February. So they gave us
It's true.
the hot details. And we're going to get to all of them here. But it is worth mentioning there's like 4 different things that are different SKUs for this whole deal. So we're going to have to stop and start a lot as we go. So just bear with me. But for those of you who are not in the know, Pokemon Home is the replacement for Pokemon Bank, which was the service back for the 3DS that let you transfer Pokemon from the older games into the newer games, but perhaps more importantly, let you store Pokemon in the cloud. And it did so for a $5 a year charge. Pokemon Home, as I said, is the replacement, and it has those same basic functionalities, but it's introducing a free and paid SKU for the first time. And we'll get to the pricing of it in a bit when we sort of give our larger thoughts, but I'm going to give you the numbers for both basic and premium. So when it comes to moving Pokemon and putting them in the cloud, if you're going for free, you have a maximum of 30 Pokemon. If you pay, you have a maximum of 6,000. So,
Jesus Christ.
Big
Which
difference.
is twice the size of Pokemon Bank, which was 3,000.
you
I
sure?
didn't even know that. Cool.
Yeah.
So you only need 500.
Yes. If you want to transfer from older games, such as the 3DS games, it is specifically from Pokemon Bank. It is unavailable in the free version. You have to pay for the premium.
Yeah.
The things that it's adding is trading is sort of the big thing that they're adding, and that is GTS, which was a feature in older Pokemon games that was not in Sword and Shield, is expanded now in Pokemon Home. You can put, basically what it lets you do is you say, I have this Pokemon I want to trade, I'm looking for this Pokemon, and someone else can search, find that, and then you can trade without you having to be there.
Yeah. I want an Arceus. I'm offering up a Pikachu.
Yes. That's
Garbage
90% of what GTS is, aka worthless.
Yeah.
Most of these only good for trading starters.
Yeah.
But in the basic free version, you can do 1 Pokemon up at a time to be traded. With the premium, you can do 3. And in terms of new things, there is the Wonder Box, which is basically like Wonder Trade for the 3DS games, which basically means you just put a Pokemon up there and you'll get something random. You don't know what you're going to get. For free, 3 Pokemon. For paid, 10 Pokemon. And
Is
then...
it really 3 for free people?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is very cool. And this is a cool feature because especially because it's just in the background and it's on your phone too, right? So you can just bloop 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 3. Here's 3 Pokemon, send them in, and at some point in a couple, I check it back and 3 new Pokemon. Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is cool. Especially if you have like a whole bunch of like, we call them in the business breed jacks. that you were breeding for that you want to just get rid of, but you don't really want to release them all. You know, you can, especially if you got a bunch of good IV ones. You know, you go shiny hunting and you don't need them all. You can be nice and trade them all away, but do it like as simple as possible. You know, it's great.
Yeah. And then the other new trade feature they have is room trade, which basically means you just make a room, people can join, and you can trade from there. And if you are a basic, you can only join. If you're premium, you can host.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah. Which is like, so basically one person that you know has to have it to manage. The other thing...
Don't worry, guys. I'll have the room open for the Jump Up Supercast. So.
Thanks, bud. The other thing is that there's actually two things for Pokemon Home. There's the mobile version, which is on your phone, as Moose mentioned earlier, and there's also the Switch version. And they do different things. You can move...
Annoying.
Which is... Yes. So basically, the reason that it's annoying is that you can only trade Pokemon in the mobile version. You can't trade them in... Yes, you can't trade them on the Switch version because you're supposed to be trading in Let's Go or in Sword and Shield.
God.
But you can only move Pokemon from home to those games with the Switch version. So you have to send them from the mobile version to the Switch version to then pop them in your game.
Yeah.
This is very stupid.
It is laborious.
It's just complicated for no reason, you know?
For no reason.
Just make both versions have the same features, you know? I'm not opposed.
They really should have done that.
I like that there's a mobile app, right? Mm-hmm. I do. I think it just makes it convenient. Right?
Sure.
To just be able to pop up my mobile phone and just trade. But, like, just why do they have different features?
And I don't want to interrupt too much, but I do want to just get the final things out there before we can have at it. The charge of, as I said, a bank was $5 a year. The charge for Pokemon Home is $16 a year. And then the other thing is that you can check, like, battle replays. Like, you can, like, watch other people's battles and your battles back, but... that's part of the premium.
Which version is that? The mobile version or the Switch version?
That is only on the mobile version. I don't know why. I don't know why. You're just watching a video. I don't know why.
There's also $3 a month as an option, I believe.
Yeah, for the year's cheapest, which is $16 a month. There's a 3-day pass, which is 3-month pass, excuse me, which is $5, and then 1 month, which is $3. So now, all that having been said. Now we can just have at it.
Well, I'm going to complain.
I want to mention something before we complain. The first month is free for everybody.
Incorrect.
Is it?
Small correction. Pokemon Bank is free for everybody.
That's what it is?
Yes.
Like,
so basically you don't have to pay for both Bank and Home to transfer your Pokemon. You can just
do it within the
pop
first
them up
month.
there. Yeah, and then you can
get them over.
Gotcha.
Yes. Oh, that's nice of them, at least, for the people who complain.
Is
it? Yeah.
I mean,
we'll compare it.
Okay. I feel like if I'm paying for Pokemon Home, no matter when I do it, I should be able to transfer my stuff from Bank. I think the fact that I have to pay for Bank to transfer to Home if I don't do it in the first month is kind of stupid.
Jesus Christ. You have to do that? That's so
if you
dumb.
Don't do it in the first month, yeah. And,
I mean, the thing that the thing that made Bank justifiable for a lot of people was that it was $5 a month.
It was
$5 a year.
$5 a year is nothing.
Yeah, and so like a month of Bank is like 75 cents or something. It's they don't charge you a lot for it.
But you can't pay for just a month.
You can you not?
Can't.
You're gonna do the year? Okay.
You have to go do a whole year
because it's so small anyway. I assume.
Yeah.
So it's like So you gotta pay $5 to do that, which is annoying. Mm-hmm. And then okay. I mean, $16 a year. Yeah, it's not that much in the grand scheme of things. I'm not gonna miss $16 every 12 months.
It's like $1.33 a month or something like that.
But it is. They are overcharging the shit out of this. This is. I mean, come on, man. Like I alluded to it before, but they're just storing .txt files. You know,
Pokemon is not just data. That's a soulless approach. Not unlike the evil villain Silver.
Yeah, well, Pokemon are just data. I'm sorry to break it. Pokemon are just data. There's not even that much data. Champion.
Your best friends aren't real.
Wow.
It's just $16 a year is highway robbery. I would have if they even just kept it within single digits, like $9. $9 is like okay. Too much, but whatever. Whatever, right? It's $16.
They're doing double the spots, double the price.
It's more than double, and I could pay.
No, I'm joking. That was the thing. $9 should be double the price.
You can buy Hollow Knight for that money. You know,
I think that's not. It's a weird comparison point, right? Because Hollow Knight just is an outlier, also. But
I guess still.
But I do think I don't know. It's because it's $15. But like I think the thing that's annoying about this, right, is that so the free version, I think we know that most people don't catch more than 50 Pokemon in a playthrough. They mentioned that before in interviews.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people who aren't interested,
the free version is fine.
Yeah, who aren't interested in transferring, the pre-version's fine, right? This is a thing that is targeted at the people that are mega hardcores, and I feel like they're charging it because of that. They feel like they're able to confidently charge this because I think with Bank they might have seen, oh, actually this hits fewer people than we thought.
Yeah, but that's not like because they need it for server costs.
I mean this is purely a money move. There's no like in-house justification for this because it's the same service you did before.
They did the research, they did the math, and we're like, what is the most possible we can charge? How much can we get out of our whales? You know, just what is the absolute maximum? And
I mean, whales is maybe too harsh of a term for what they're doing here.
Yeah. It's only $16 a month.
It's only $16 a year. It's not $100 or a thousand. Yeah. Sorry.
And I mean, I agree that it seems too much, especially for what it was. But I mean, at least there's more stuff in there. With the GTS and the Wonder Room. I'm not saying that justifies
I know.
that much of a price hike. I'm just saying, at least there is. At least it's not them just saying, it's $16 a month and it's only Pokemon storage again.
Pokemon Bank again. Yeah. I'm happy that there's more features to it. And some of those features I think are legit cool. Like, I think, having the National Pokedex in there the way it is pretty cool, right?
They're all imitating the, like, artwork for, like, all of them, which is cool. They're all posing like that.
So that's very neat. Having that Pokedex info, though, also this is 2020. Like, I'm just going to go to Bulbapedia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, but like I guess having that stuff is neat, right? But then my other problem is that just me personally, my personal use case, right? Because here's the thing: Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield do not support cloud saves on the Nintendo Switch, right? Despite I paid Nintendo $20 a year, right? And part of the expectation is I get cloud saves.
Yeah. Well, basically every online game on Switch doesn't. It's Splatoon.
It's just Pokemon, Splatoon, and Animal Crossing. Though.
Yeah, which are the three online games on Switch.
It's not Smash or Mario Kart.
Smash and Mario Kart are different. They don't have like saves that like maintain, like you don't have character progression in those things.
That's not true. I can scum my Sakurai doesn't care if I scum my global Smash power. I can.
That's that's a different thing than like your Splatoon gear and your Pokemon and your Animal Crossing town.
But, like, this is not a thing that I have to deal with on the PS4. It's not like on the PS4.
I'm saying all three of those are bad.
It's bad. It's bad. It's very annoying that, I pay for this service anyway, with the expectations of cloud saves, and Nintendo does not support it with certain features. And Pokemon is one of the ones I would care most about, right? And then, because I'm someone who does catch them all, right? And for peace of mind, I'm going to need to pay them $16 a year so I can throw them in the cloud,
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so your peace of mind is you don't want them tied to your console.
I don't want them tied to my console. Correct.
Okay. Well,
because I want I have the expectation that I caught them all. If I lose my Switch one day, it'll be okay. And it's a handheld. I'm even more concerned about losing my Switch than I am my PS4 or my Xbox One.
Sure. I mean, it's the same problem that like the 3DS had, right? Where it's just like, where's the handheld is the
and I guess that is the problem that was, but it's to me it's exasperated by the fact that it's been a problem
for every single Pokemon game.
But to me it's exasperated by the fact that there is the functionality of cloud saves on the Switch, that it exists.
Yes,
I mean, I don't know if that's more of a Nintendo than a Game Freak thing. I don't know because
IDK, but
either way, it is unfortunate. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, and
for me. Sorry, go ahead.
And just one last thing, sorry. It's just, for me personally, I'm only going to use it as a storage thing, and I'm going to use it to get battle points into Sword and Shield, right? That's it. I really don't care about the other extraneous features. I just like Wonder Trade, very neat. I think that's very cool that that's in there. But if I caught them all, why would I care about Wonder Trade?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, for funsies.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that, like, it's sort of asking, like, you 100% of the game. And it's like, well, what's the 100? What am I supposed to do now that 100% it is? Like, well, that's the point of 100%, right? Like, you've done the thing. And so, like you said, the one thing is, like, basically they're looking in the eye and saying, is the value of peace of mind on this thing that you did not going away worth $16, right? Because, like, you're not going to open Pokemon Sword and Shield and, like, look at your decks besides maybe once a year, right? Like, you're not going to do that, but it's playing off that, like, that animal brain of, like, I'm going to worry about this, right?
Yeah.
For me, the thing that I think is perhaps the most unfortunate aspect of it is that this is the thing that actually is most affected by the national dex cuts. Like, the game itself, I think, was largely unaffected in terms of my enjoyment of it. But for people, there was a real philosophy sometimes before of, I'll pay the $5, I'll pop them down into my game, and I won't renew. Right?
Yeah.
You can't do that now because obviously there's only the data for when the expansions are done, 400, like 600 Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Which means that there is then now 300 Pokemon that if you want to keep them around and access them, you're going to have to pay for down the line.
And that was something that $5 a year, okay. I think people had kind of settled in on, or, by now, all right. If I want the National X, I'm going to have to pay them $5 a year. Okay.
Sure.
You just have
but when you've more than tripled that number.
You just have to accept that those Pokemon are gone, like Tears in the Rain.
Yeah, like Tears in the Rain. I mean, I think that, like,
all they are data, right? Who cares?
They are data. That's true.
That's true too. Who cares?
It's just a .txt file. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, like, I certainly I do think the thing that underpins it is Moose is going to pay for it, right? Like, I'm gonna probably pay for it. Brandon's gonna pay for it, right? Like, all three of us are marks. And I think that 16 is you're not. But I said all three, so we're covered. The 16 is like the upper ceiling, I think, for what people will still like pay for and like forget about. Like, you're gonna forget about this thing, and then you're gonna see on your credit card thing as you're scrolling through, as a $16 charge. I should stop that, right? But like, it's the insidious side of subscription services is the concept that you're gonna pay and forget, right?
But every 12 months, I'm going to look at that and be like,
you're going to see that $16 and go, oh shit, I ain't even using that anymore. Oh well, got it for another year.
Yeah, here we are, and then you'll forget again.
Does the Switch have auto renew on that kind of shit, or what does that work like?
Bank did not.
Nintendo Switch Online, I have it on. So
yeah, I wonder if because and thank God for this. At least this shit is tied to the Nintendo account, so you don't have to do any extra bullshit about it. Just log into your Nintendo account on your phone and your Switch. So I wonder if that does support auto renew on the Switch.
They're learning.
Because I was gonna say, because Bank didn't, and there was actually times that the one thing I would say, hopefully that's a slight alleviating problem on that paying for yearly thing, is that I didn't renew for like a year and a half for Bank, and I went there, they were all still there, it was fine, and I've seen people do like 2.5 years, right? So I did
that same thing. So like, I didn't have it for over a year, and then I was like, "Oh shit, I better pay my $5."
I was worried they were all going to be gone because they might just delete them. But seemingly, probably because it takes so little space, it's not even worth
4
the process of auto-deleting it. Yeah, it's not even worth deleting it. It does mean that, like, if you go up, you pay for the month, put it up there, and then do the month again whenever the game that this Pokemon is in comes out, right? Like when Gen 9 or whatever happens, you could do that. But it's like a lot of workarounds for what would have just been fine if they had just kept the price as it was. So yeah.
Here's the thing. I pay Apple $1 a month for iCloud storage, and I get 500 gigs a year.
I gotta say,
well, you just gotta. 6,000 Pokemon moves. That's basically.
I'm quite used to this kind of fucking fuckery bullshit to get my Pokemon into my games nowadays. I mean, back in the day, it still sucked. It sucked ass, dude.
I get 50 gigs of storage for $1.
That's a big difference. That is actually 6,000 Pokemon.
But that is still nothing compared to Pokemon.
Not true. 6,000 Pokemon is worth 5 hearts worth of joy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, do you guys remember back with Gen 3 transferring to Gen 4?
Yes, you were limited to like 6 a day.
Yeah, 6 a day. Yeah, you had to like re-catch that.
It's always
it's always been inane bullshit. Yeah,
which is why I didn't complain about like the 2 different versions.
But like,
even though
that's
it's dumb.
not an excuse to not be better.
No.
Be better.
No, it's not. I'm just saying, I'm so used to it now. It's like, whatever.
I'm very curious about home in another way, not really to complain about it, because like I said, I wonder, because obviously the reception among the hardcores will be rougher around this, right?
Yeah.
I wonder though if it's going to get a lot more use because it's on a phone versus Bank did. Just
I
having
wish
that
we
that
could-
free skew.
Yeah, I wish we could battle with it though.
That would be cool.
That would make the $16. If I could battle on my phone, I would. Then the $16 is worth it because hey, I don't have to carry my Switch around. I can just battle in Pokemon on my phone. Maybe Nintendo doesn't want that though. But.
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing where someone's like, they're always said on their mobile thing, we don't put the exact same gameplay that's on the home console game in the mobile version. So I imagine that might be the sticking point. But yeah, so that's
what a hassle carrying your Switch around, huh?
I mean,
you guys
you have to admit it would be pretty cool to battle Pokemon just on your phone.
I know, but I don't have to carry my Switch around.
Isn't that what Pokemon Go is for?
Fucking hassle.
No,
Pokemon Go
battling is not the same. It is not the same.
You say Pokemon Go battling?
Fucking
oh my god, Pokemon Go battling is fucking dog
Look how
shit,
well
dude.
I baited these guys.
it was easy. It was
So easy.
Thank you. That's another 5 minutes of podcast we can fill with just them yelling.
All right.
That
I
is-
guess that's enough about yelling about. Though, Pokemon. We're not going to talk about this on the podcast, but there's a rumor that it's going to be at the Universal theme parks. So how about that?
Man, I can't fucking wait, dog.
Yeah. While we're on the
that will straight up be the kids zone though. So look forward to like 35-year-old man around a bunch of 6-year-olds.
I have no shame, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already knew that.
You're gonna catch me and Muzzy on that Pikachu.
I'll be
It's
walking
gonna be
the
like
other
a
way.
merry-go-round with Pokemon and they're gonna be on it with the bunch
You're gonna
of
shove a kid off so you can ride the Squirtle. Got it.
Definitely gonna find the nearest security guard.
2023, yeah, I'm gonna be like fucking 30, 33, 34 years old.
Yeah. That'll
Looking
be
forward
it.
to it.
So there it is.
Same.
All right. So that is, like I said, Ills, you potentially will be free for a while.
We're done with Pokemon for like half a year now.
We'll see about that.
We'll see.
Well, about 4 months.
We'll see. But boys, we're entering a special time of year, right? As we've noted before, next gen is looming. There's a bunch of meetings going on, right? The reason that you have all these delays is because, like, this is the beginning of the year, people come back to their bosses and they're like, "This isn't going well. We need to delay," and the bosses are like, "Fine." But you know what that gives some primo opportunity for? Some tabloid bullshit. That's right.
I love tabloid bullshit.
Journalistic integrity, be damned. We're going to the rumor mill, baby.
National Enquirer, we're here for you.
Yes. Lara Croft has been impregnated by aliens, and the president knows about it.
Jesus.
So these are all, we're just going to go through a whole various list of different rumors that normally we would not cover in like a whole segment, but we're going to do them here and just know all of these. Their validity, it can vary, right? But we'll probably go in order of what I think is most to least valid. How about that? So leading off, we got some news about Resident Evil 8 potentially.
Whoa.
So there's been a couple of different people who have been talking about Resident Evil 8 in various forms. There was sort of a play test that apparently was what happened last year, and that's where it started to get out. And from that play test, we've now got some potential details about what they're doing with RE8. You might say RE3 is already coming out. You're right, but that doesn't mean you got to think years ahead when you're making a video game. Mm-hmm. So here's the brass tacks that we got. RE8 gonna be FPS again potentially. All right.
Yes.
It's gonna star Ethan, who was the protagonist of RE7. They say it probably won't actually be called RE8. It'll have a more European A clever name is the official thing.
I don't like that.
Rate?
I'm not a fan of that. That makes it seem like a spin-off.
No, but this is a sequel to Resident Evil 7, straight up.
Yes.
Don't.
This is the next mainline game, they just might not necessarily be using number 8. You know, sometimes a franchise gets too high in numbers.
They were able to be cute with RE7 by making the L and the I be 7.
I
hate that so much.
I love that.
I thought it was very cute.
Very clever.
You people have terrible taste.
Not true. But the few other things that they mentioned, zombies will be returning in a more traditional format because RE7 went away from that. And they say it'll be the environment that the playtest had was in a rural, snowy, mountainous area with like a village and then a castle in the distance.
Where have I heard of that before? Village going into a castle?
Who knows? And the other thing is that there was a werewolf-like enemy that would attack player and a persistent, shadowy female quote-unquote enemy that will follow you but will dissipate if shot. So I imagine potentially sort of like some form of Mr. X inspired thing.
It's his daughter.
Might be. But
he got a nose, he got a kid.
Hey, congrats to him. But I do think this is interesting because we can sort of get into more details about it. After the success of RE2, I think there was questions about will they take another swing at that style of game with the next mainline one, not a remake, or will they stick with RE7? How do you feel about potentially it still being first person?
I feel great. I mean, I like Resident Evil 7 was awesome. So I feel really good about it.
I just want to know if he's going to devolve into punching boulders. Can't wait.
Maybe.
Chris will be returning in some capacity was part of the thing, so.
Oh, no.
He's in the DLC, although he doesn't even look the same.
No, throw this game in the trash already.
I did not like how he looked in RE7. Anyway, so, take what I say with a grain of salt, because I'm not a Resident Evil fan, right? However, number one, one of the things I've heard is that people are like, well, Ethan kind of already had a complete story, and he's not, like, that great of a protagonist anyway, so, like, why is he coming back? That's something I've kind of just heard people talk about.
Because he needs to save the president's daughter.
Maybe that's what he needs to do.
He just fucking recycling every single thing from the old game.
Yeah.
4 + 4 = 8. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
I think going back to the first person view is interesting, because, so it is interesting because RE2 and RE3 was not made by the RE7 team, right? Those are completely separate teams, right?
Yes.
And so RE8 has been in development since early 2017, if not late 2016, right? Mm-hmm. So it's been in development for a while. I think it's interesting that they're going to the first person view though, because RE2 I know RE7 was a breakout hit in a way that people really like this. This is a really good take on Resident Evil, but it is different, right? It is very different from traditional Resident Evil games.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Whereas RE2 kind of just felt like this culmination of, hey, if you loved the original trilogy, if you loved RE4, this is kind of like in that style, melding those styles together in this just wonderful game, right?
But I would say it didn't meld RE7 in, right?
It did not meld RE7 in. Yeah, you're correct. Yes.
Yeah, and so I think that that's why I interrupted your point there. Sorry, but
no, keep going. Yeah, you're what I was gonna say. Yeah.
But I think the fact that we're getting an RE3 potentially, right? And I do want to know one other little detail.
We know we're getting RE3.
Well, yeah. Sorry,
in 3 months.
Well, I want to add a qualifier in, right? Which was Dust Golem, who's a well-known Capcom leaker guy. He got a lot of stuff. Specifically said that midway through development they rebooted RE8, and that this play test was sort of seeing what they were going to take in the reboot, right?
Oh, sure.
So not all this stuff is guaranteed to be in. Is sort of what they were saying.
So does that kind of explain why this is also kind of taking so long? Not that they needed it, because RE2 was coming out this year anyway. Yes. Last year, and RE3 was coming out this year anyway.
Yeah. So Resident Evil is still in the publib light, and they're doing fine with it.
Yeah.
Yes, and so they had the opportunity to say, hey, if this isn't going exactly as we want it to, we can sort of get another shot at it.
Let's do the RE7
style. And if it doesn't work, turn it into another fucking game. They did it 4 fucking times.
Yeah.
There's a long history of Resident Evil. Yeah.
But sorry I interrupted, but the thing that's is Resident Evil more than almost any other franchise has reinvented itself so many times, right?
Oh yeah.
And but they all get their own little trilogies to try things out, right? And I'm you get that original sort of tank controls 1, 2, 3, then you get 4, 5, 6, and then 7. I think it would have been a bummer if it never got another chance to sort of explore ideas, especially after the DLC for 7 was really cool. Actually, there was a lot of neat ideas they clearly had for it.
Yeah, and people who are fans of the original RE4 are getting catered to with RE2 and 3 remakes, right? So.
Yeah, and even kind of the fans of the 1, 2, and 3 are getting catered to a little bit too. So
yeah. And so I think that actually it puts Resident Evil in a really interesting and good place right now. Even if none of this stuff ends up panning out in RE8, I hope it actually does stick with first person at this point.
I agree.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I agree. I think for the most part, like that style. I mean, RE7 was a well-received game, right? It was.
Yes.
Which is crazy for something that tried something just completely different from previous entries. And so, yeah, it deserves to get more shots in that style. It's just funny because Resident Evil, we just talked about how it's spun off into so many franchises, right? Like Onimusha, Dino Crisis, Devil May Cry, right?
Yeah.
But even within the mainline Resident Evil franchise itself, they're almost like different, RE4 and RE7 and RE1 are all three very different games,
Yes.
And this is all within the mainline series. I think it's crazy that. I mean, it must be hard, but they seem to be doing a job right now of juggling that. But it must be hard to hey, this style doesn't necessarily appeal to the fans of that style, but this one appeals to that person. It's like the Resident Evil fan base seems to be very not split necessarily, but they are very different segments of people.
It's good that they keep innovating at least.
It absolutely is good because if you just keep doing the same thing, people are going to get tired of it.
Yeah.
And if you change it too much, people are going to complain. But also, a good game is a good game at the end of the day, whether or not, as long as they're making a good game, I feel like they can be as, different as they want or need to be, as long as at the end of the day...
As long as we're not pulling an RE6, right? We're good.
Yeah, because, the game kind of sucks. But you don't hear people complain about RE6 all the time, but they don't complain about, 4, at all, because, even though
it's a great game.
4 is the one that switched to style... It's a great fucking game, and even 5 to an extent. People don't really complain about 5 too much,
nearly as much as they used to. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do we think? How soon do we think this is coming out?
I don't know. Next year, maybe. Depends on how well it's going.
I mean, if they're doing the reboot like Dusk Golem said, I think that there's you could. I think it's fine if RE takes a year off. Because we've had 2 back to back.
In 19, we got a release in 20. So we can take 2021 off and get into 2022.
Yeah. And also build up that install base a little bit.
Is it cross-gen or just next-gen?
There are no specifics on that.
Okay.
I'd imagine it's next-gen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Capcom has usually ever done cross-gen stuff, but also this is going to be a weirder transition than it's ever been, right?
Sure.
So, I don't know. I'm curious if they also develop it for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
Or is this just the PS5 Series X?
Maybe 2021 they just port RE2 and RE3 to the next gen.
Sure,
next gen,
a bundle,
yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Just, hey, here you go. Here's RE2 and RE3, and now they're prettier than ever.
Yeah. So then next up, I guess I should ask before we start about these, we should say, do we buy or do we not? We're into the details, and if we don't buy it, then we'll just skip it. All right.
Yeah, I buy this one though. Obviously.
Seems solid. Didn't IGN report on this?
Yeah. More and more people have picked it up as time's gone on.
Eurogamer has a very good track record, and they specifically were like, "Yeah, we talked to our Capcom sources, and this seems legit."
Mm-hmm.
Seems legit.
And even if we don't, we still talk about why we don't buy it. Yeah. Rumor: this next one, 2D Metroid and traditional Paper Mario releasing in 2020.
Traditional Paper Mario like RPG?
We're talking about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paper Mario RPG, return to its roots. So I don't buy the source, but I have been screaming to the heavens that both of these things would happen for a while now.
I think I'm in a similar spot. I think
who did I see leak this? Was it Sabi or something?
Well, it's a guy. Yeah, there was an era user named Zippo, and then Zippo and Sabi were sort of backing each other up. And then Berg Band said similar things. It's a lot of people that all have iffy track records or are relatively new, right? But I feel like it's one of those things that's like become a weird open secret in like a lot of Nintendo circles because like a lot of places that normally don't cover rumors are covering it,
Yeah. I mean, my thing is even if the source of the rumors are not real, I feel like these things are happening anyway. I really do. I mean, Metroid Samus Returns came out in 2017, right? I think a 3-year development cycle for a Metroid game makes sense, right? A 2D Metroid game. And I do not believe that Mercury's team will be doing another Metroid remake. I think that Return of Samus needed a remake, right? It was a Game Boy game. Game Boy games are archaic, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that one was especially archaic, yeah.
And it was a goddamn map, right?
And it's a good way to cut your teeth as a first
Zero
attempt.
Mission was a remake of the first game, and then we got this one, so it made sense to do.
Yeah, like you said, like Will said, I don't know if you heard him, but like it's good training wheels also for Mercury's team to be like, okay, this is how you kind of make a Metroid game.
Well, they've kind of already had those since they made.
I know, but like specifically a Metroid game,
right. And working with Nintendo
getting to the process of what we were going to Nintendo. Samus Returns, spoilers at the secret ending did kind of tease a future for Metroid, right?
Yes.
That would potentially take place after Zero Mission. I mean, the Fusion.
Fusion. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they teased that for no reason, you know?
They definitely were planning on it potentially, right? At that time.
They were thinking about it at least. There was thoughts in their head about it, right? I think we're getting a new Metroid game, and this year, 3-year development cycle just makes sense. It does, you know?
Hold us over. Nintendo, hold us over for that Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, yeah. It works as a holdover to Metroid Prime 4 as well, I think.
I wouldn't even call it a holdover. I'd call it another main event.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, because originally the plan probably if this game is coming out this year, it was greenlit when Metroid Prime 4 was thought to be probably out last year.
Supposed to come out in 2019, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that is a thing. So... would we all prefer a new game over a remake of like Fusion or Super or whatever?
New game, please.
Sorry, go on, Nils.
I think a new game. Fusion is really, really good as it is. It doesn't really need to be remade.
Yeah,
that's my thing. I feel like Fusion, Zero Mission, and Super have just aged pretty well. I like. Yeah. You could say that there's some weirdness with how Super controls, right? But for the most part, I think it still has aged very, very well. Just give us Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo Switch Online, right?
Yes,
and
please.
You're good.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just give me Zero Mission and Fusion through that, right? Give me a new Metroid game. I want a new Metroid game. It's been long enough, right? Fusion came out when? Like 2001? Right?
I don't even know.
Or two?
It's been so long.
It's around there, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and we got Other M in the middle of that.
Well, that was in the prime.
Yeah, sure. It was clearly trying to fuse the two, right?
I would like to move forward with 2D Metroid. It's a long time coming, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's happening though, and I'm excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
That leads to the question of Paper Mario.
Yes. So Paper Mario, the key word here being traditional, right? Because I think everyone sort of expects a Paper Mario at some point in the Switch's lifespan. Of course. Yeah. Do we buy this? Because we know semi-infamously Nintendo made the decision that Mario and Luigi was the RPG series and that Paper Mario was the exploration series, I guess. And that's maintained through the 3DS and through Wii U.
Yeah.
Well, if Alpha Dream dying to bring back RPG Paper Mario is what we needed, then fuck it. Rest in peace,
wow.
Alpha Dream. Good riddance. Don't let the door hit you up on the way out.
I'm going to sacrifice these 50 people's jobs for 1,000 Year Door 2.
Listen, the jobs are a whole nother thing. I hope those people find jobs. But the studio closing down and the series, the RPG Mario and Luigi series dying to make way for this, fine. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, here's the thing. Intelligent Systems just hire everyone at Alpha Dream,
There wasn't that many, clearly,
Yeah, Alpha Dream was a very small team.
Don't hire the people who made the last couple games.
No, it's the same people. We gotta give it to them. Come on.
All right.
You can say the same thing about Paper Mario, too.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you why I very specifically believe that Paper Mario is returning to its roots, okay? Number one, Paper Mario coming out this year, it makes sense. It's been 4 years since Color Splash, right? That game came out in 2016. And you look at the credits in Fire Emblem Three Houses, like 7 people from Intelligent Systems worked on Three Houses, okay? So Intelligent Systems is pretty big. if only 7 people worked on their flagship game, they're working on other things. Clearly,
if they are all just working.
Joke's
on
you.
Heroes.
They're working on advanced work.
Yeah, they're all working on the mobile game. They're just all working on Heroes. No, I don't believe that though. And also because Heroes is fairly low budget for a mobile game. It's it is. But I think that they're very clearly working on Paper Mario. 4 years makes sense to me. And when it comes to Super Mario, right? If you look at all the Mario games on Switch, what do they have in common? You can refute me if you want, but I will disagree. I think there's a very clear, concentrated effort at Nintendo. Hey, let's listen to what the fans want. Let's listen to what they want and kind of do that. Mario Odyssey was very much an answer to, hey, you want that Mario 64 style back.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario Party. We realize, hey, you guys did not like the car shit in Mario Party 9 and Mario Party 10. Let's bring it back to the classic style. Mario Tennis Aces. Hey, you loved the story modes in the handheld games. They specifically called it out, right? Hey, that GBA game you guys like that? Yeah, hey, well, we put a story mode in this one.
I mean, it wasn't as good, but
It wasn't as good, and maybe the execution wasn't perfect, but they were clearly going for that, though, right? Of, hey, we know that you guys liked that older style of this franchise. We're going to do that. So Paper Mario, it makes sense to do it, too. It does. I am a believer.
I'm buying it too. I don't want to live in a world where it doesn't exist, so I'm buying it.
Here's a question:
Mm.
Can it please the people that are like calling you out, Arlo, you puppet? The people that are the people that are ride or die for Thousand Year Door, right? That I mean, I'm one of those people, right? But is there any chance?
No.
Yes.
I
think they're gonna be happy. As long as it's a fucking RPG. I mean,
I don't think it's impossible.
But I think with the reverence that Thousand Year Door gets in particular.
I mean, it's not going to be at the same level of adoration, of course, but people are going to be happy to see a fucking RPG.
Yeah, but there's certain aspects of Thousand Year Door that I think people are maybe looking for in a return to Paper Mario that may not be present here, right? Like, I don't think it's going to be as weird as Thousand Year Door was,
You never know.
And I just want to, I guess, kind of give this to you guys, but just personally speaking, would you be fine with a Paper Mario that gameplay-wise returns to that style, right? And let's say, and we got our partners and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how would you feel about this one specific, how each town kind of has its own race, right? So there's Koopas in one town, there's Bob-ombs in another, et cetera, right? How would you feel if the Toads in the town were they had different colors and they had some stuff going on, but they were nowhere near as unique as in Thousand Year Door?
This is such a weird question.
It's a weird question, but
people get hung up on the Toads a lot, right?
Yeah,
they say
it's something that is
online.
It is something so particular that constantly gets brought up when it comes to Paper Mario.
Is this like a fetish thing?
No.
People like the aspect where Paper Mario went to worlds that weren't in traditional Mario settings, right? Was the idea. Like Mario becomes a pro wrestler was sort of like the sentence I always say to describe it. I mean, I don't know. I think that ultimately, Color Splash didn't get played by a lot of people, but Color Splash is funny, and I think that for a lot of people that aren't the mega hardcores, the truly have every line of dialogue from Thousand Year Door memorized.
Where's my real gamers at?
Yeah, the insane people. That's another way to phrase it, I guess. I think that they'll be fine if the writing is to Color Splash's caliber, because it's a funny game. It is a genuinely funny game. And there's literally things other than Toads. If there's one other thing, I think it's that whoever else.
I guess let me phrase it a different way. If the NPCs were similar to what we found in Super Mario Odyssey,
I think they'd be fine.
Oh, they'd be cool with that.
They'd be cool with that.
I mean, definitely.
Okay. Because if you look at there's no individual of each race that stands out in Odyssey, right? But they are very different. Each place has its own thing. Though,
I think that's fine. I think those weird bird guards in Thousand Year Door. You can't tell them apart, but you remember them because they get to have funny lines. I think that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fine. That's kind of just because I do think I don't think they'll get as weird as they did with Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, and you can
actually borrow some of the cool races from Odyssey would be really neat. I mean, actually, really into that.
Normal human beings.
Normal human beings.
Yeah, that would be.
That was
something else.
So weird.
But I'm talking the skeleton guys from the from the that one village.
Oh man, we have to have those guys. Let's give
those
it to
guys
me.
in Paper Mario, or like the people from the Snow Village. Like that would be really neat.
Yeah, little snowmads. Yeah, they're all cute.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of because I do think I think there's a good chance that Paper Mario on Switch kind of looks like that. You know,
it would be like Pinatas or whatever the hell they are from Sunshine being in
Thousand Year Door. Yes, it's a very good comparison.
Yeah.
You know what? They need to bring back all the characters from Super Mario RPG. Just meld the two worlds together.
Oh God,
Culex.
What are you all godding about?
Okay, boomer.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that game is amazing. Fuck off.
Oh. Okay, bring back Boshi. I'm into it now.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
Gino, Malo.
One final rumor.
Okay.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic reimagining is in the works. This one comes from a source that's not normally in video games. Actually, it's this guy who does Star Wars scoops specifically. He was the guy that got the scoop about Ewan McGregor his Obi-Wan show last year. Same source said, "Hey man,
which is getting
delayed,
rebooted,
it's getting rebooted." But he was right that it was happening.
Yeah.
And he said the same source that told him they're working on a KOTOR reboot or reimagining.
Is it a remake? What is it? Give me the skinny.
It was. I'll give you the specifics here. So two different sources are saying different things, so please be excited for that. Mentioned that Knights of the Old Republic remake is back in development. The other source added to that, saying that it wasn't a direct remake, but a sequel of sorts. It would be your Knights of the Old Republic project that would integrate elements from the first two games in order to bring certain things into current Star Wars canon. Not necessarily a remake, but a reimagining.
So they would do what they've kind of been doing with a lot of the old extended universe stuff, right? Whereas they kind of bring in ideas of that, but it is reworked to fit with the new Star Wars canon.
Yes.
Right? Well, the thing is, they don't have to do much. It's so far in the past that nothing affects this. Yeah.
The other thing is seemingly they said that they've not heard anything about BioWare's involvement, which makes sense because we know that BioWare Austin is stuck on Anthem in seemingly perpetuity, and Edmonton is all on Dragon Age. They said
Dragon Age.
So
that makes sense.
Do we buy it?
I fucking love KOTOR, and I hope if they bring it back, I hope they do it justice because the first and the second game were really, really good.
I buy it, and I'm not unlike Gills. I've never played the original, right?
Whoa, you're not like me then.
But I said unlike.
Oh, okay.
Good. Yeah. But here's where I have my big dose of skepticism. Will Disney kind of fuck it up when it comes to because of how inane they are with the canon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have full faith in Disney for that aspect of it? Of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have full faith in anybody, but I mean, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order did well. I'm holding on to hope.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I guess especially if you like Jedi Fallen Order, I guess you have even more reason to be optimistic there.
One might say that it's a new hope.
Oh. But I mean, famously, like the theme park. What is it? Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is so stupid because of their insistence on they can't have Vader and Luke and Leia running around because they're dead in the canon.
Spoilers.
Yeah, sorry, but the theme park has to be set in a certain part in the universe. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, they had to make a whole backstory and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Why does the theme park got to be canon, you guys?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they already have the bones of KOTOR to not fuck that up.
And like you said, it's thousands of years ago, right?
Yeah. It just, I guess to me, it just feels like the old extended universe didn't necessarily have that much care put into the individual stuff, right?
Sure.
Yeah, probably.
And just to the extent where Disney feels like there's a central voice kind of talking about all of this,
Yeah.
And it's just I wonder if they're a little too.
I wouldn't say care. I would say restrictions.
Yeah.
That's a better. I don't think it's necessarily care. Sure, yeah, but there's a lot of.
No one's sneaking out comics that have bigger Luke in it. There's
yeah. Well, much like how they're very strict with like Mickey Mouse, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of same deal here. Yeah.
But somehow Kingdom Hearts exists. So we'll see. All right, final piece of news before we move on to the final segment. You might be curious. When they first announced Half-Life Alyx, right? We said we wonder how much it matters, right? Will this drive people to buy it? We got a report from Super Data about specifically the Q4 sales for the Valve Index, which is their VR thing they're recommending you use for Alyx, but it can be on other things, but it's $1,000, so keep that in mind.
It is the most expensive VR headset.
Yes.
By a wide margin.
It sold 103,000 headsets in Q4. For the total year, it sold 150K. So you can see how much that spike happened.
Fucking nice.
And this is for the $1,000 headset. Imagine all the people who are interested in Half-Life Alyx but don't have $1,000 to drop, but they're like, sure, I'll pick up an Oculus Quest or a Rift or a Windows MR headset, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that 100,000 people picked up a $1,000 headset for Half-Life Alyx before it's even out for another 4 months.
Wild.
And
it is worth mentioning in the report they also said it was the best-selling headset for the quarter. So
sure.
It did the best.
That's fair.
And it sold out stock-wise, so it could have sold more potentially. So,
but to be fair, if I'm going to point to the Oculus Quest, that was also very much sold out throughout the holiday season, though.
Yes.
So, people are buying headsets for this. I'm not saying it's like necessarily very big in numbers, necessarily, right? But I think this tells me that Half-Life still has a lot of pull with people, right?
And a strong pull, $1,000 pull,
$1,000 pull, and B, I think that if Half-Life Alyx, and this is a big ask of them, of course, but if Half-Life Alyx lives up to the standards that this franchise has held, right, I think this could be a very big deal for VR.
A big landmark title, yeah.
Yeah, I think this could be the maybe not to the extent, but like the Mario 64 for VR. You know? I think if any game is going to do it, it's going to be this one, right? It just has to be,
Yeah, I think so.
So,
but we'll see. Hopefully it's good, and like we said, we talked about some last week, but I thought it was interesting to have those numbers.
I mean, I really hope it's good because I have it on my fantasy board.
That's very true.
I hope it's good because Half-Life fans have been starving.
It's been true. Rough time.
Yeah, so I hope it's good.
But you know what? It's never a rough time on the list.
The list! And that's completely not true.
That is the complete opposite.
Very not true.
Sometimes I have to lie to get us there. Because we are now engaging in the list, which is a weekly process where we add one game to an ever-growing list of 161 games, which are good, bad, and everything in the middle. You can follow along in the pastebin below to see the whole list as we talk about it. Last week, I added Batman Arkham Asylum. Got to 26 on the list, which is my highest game yet, so pat on the back.
Congrats.
And now we're moving forward. Ills, you are the one adding to the list this week.
True.
Thank God it's not me, because I was not prepared.
Well, I was up 2 minds. I was either going to pick a really good game or a really bad game. I think I'm going to go with a bad game because it fits more with the episode. So I'm going to pick Metroid Prime Hunters.
Metroid Prime Hunters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Metroid Prime Hunters.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a Metroid Prime game for the DS. It came out very early in the DS's life cycle. Yeah. And it does not play well. It has kind of a lackluster story. I assume it has decent multiplayer, but I never played it. Sure. It was very hard to follow, and it hurt my hand like fuck. It was like playing Kid Icarus before Kid Icarus.
Now, are you just trying to get me to rank it higher? Because I will.
If the only thing you care about is hand pain, then yes.
Look, Metroid Prime Hunters, I will say, it is not the best game in the world. It's particularly not a good one.
It's not.
Sure.
But I did have fun with it. I don't think the controls are as bad as Il says.
It's bad.
And I don't know.
It's hard.
I don't remember the story or anything. I don't remember, but I had a good time playing it.
It's hard because
It barely
Metroid
has a story. Go ahead,
is so well known for its single player, right?
Yeah.
But Prime Hunters wore its hat very much on the multiplayer. That was the
multiplayer game.
The hunters.
Oh, absolutely.
The hunters that are in the title, you can only play as if you're playing with other people. Otherwise, you're Samus the whole time. And they actually were cool. I liked playing as the different hunters when I did play multiplayer.
Me too.
It was awesome.
Because they did have genuine cool differences with how they all, would play. But as Il said, the aiming with the touchscreen as your primary way to move the camera was not great. It was, very much sort of like the Kid Icarus, where, you sort of, the hand pain can be very real.
If you're a child.
Well, or if you're a left-handed person.
Or a masochist.
Well, it wasn't as bad because there was the same buttons actually on each side for the DS, but if you're lefty.
Yeah, they had the left-handed.
Yeah. So that wasn't a problem, I guess. But they want you to use the... Sorry, what was that?
I said I don't hate the game. I don't think, like you said, I don't think it's particularly good, but...
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, and I think that's worth something, right?
Yeah, I did like the multiplayer. I got a lot of mileage out of that fucking demo that came out with the DS when it first came out.
Me too.
Nothing else to play.
Me too.
But so I was used to how the game was going to control and play when it came out. So it didn't take me getting used to it because I had played the shit out of that demo.
It's weird. For an early DS game, it doesn't look bad.
No, actually,
it's pretty. Really I remember my friend had a DS Lite, and I was like, man, I wish I had a DS Lite. I had my dumb fat DS. Because when I played that game on it, but yeah, I don't know.
Did you guys use the thumb strap with it?
No,
or did
not get the thumb strap. Period.
No. I tried. I tried using the stupid thumb strap with Super Mario 64 DS too, and
that was
not
bad.
great.
That was it.
That's the game. Yeah. All right, but Ills, you've brought the game, so you get first shot at where you want to put it.
I want to put it as close to hell as possible.
Jeez, okay. Right.
I actually want it in hell. I hate this game.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna disagree.
This is the blandest story I've ever heard.
But where the hell do you want it?
Above Paper Mario, maybe, I guess.
Okay, so it'd be the new top of hell.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 150. So my immediate thought, and I'm gonna get flack for this. I did not have the drive to go through Metroid Prime Federation Force, and I did have the drive to go through Metroid Prime Hunters.
Okay, I haven't played Federation Force, so I can't offer an opinion. I think Federation Force might be too high.
There may be a case of Federation Force too high, and I'm willing to give it that, so I'm willing to put
I don't know. I don't think Federation Force.
Like I haven't played it, so.
But I enjoy. Clearly, because I didn't play much of Federation Force, but I don't know. I had more of a drive to play Hunters.
Do you think it was because you were younger and you didn't have as much to play?
That's a possibility.
And there weren't that many games on the DS when it came out.
Games, yeah, sure. That's a possibility.
I will tell you something. I did not have the drive to finish the story mode in that game because it was just not good. It was a very bad story mode. I didn't give a shit about anything that was happening, and
no.
I didn't like that the levels it was level based.
Mm-hmm.
You'd go from planet to planet, and I was like, this shit ain't Metroid.
That ain't Metroid. Yeah.
I want a Metroid game. This ain't Metroid. But I tell you, I had fun playing multiplayer with my friends, and you could play online, which was super cool at the time.
It was the showpiece online game.
Yeah, it was, and that was cool. And like you said, like we mentioned, playing as the other bounty hunters was really cool. Honestly, this. I
wish the campaign incorporated it a lot more.
Yeah,
the campaign. I will say the campaign was the biggest disappointment, but especially single player. But playing this with friends was actually a really fun time.
Really cool, and I wish that this multiplayer was incorporated into Metroid Prime 3 or something, because Metroid Prime 2 had multiplayer, titles, but this multiplayer was better than Metroid Prime 2.
Yeah.
It's the best multiplayer Metroid experience.
Which might not put it super high, but
it's really the meat of the game. It's the buying point of the game, I think.
For me, I would put it above Mario Pinball Land.
The game that belongs in hell.
Well, that's a good one. That's where we disagree.
What the fuck are you talking about, Mario Pinball Land?
You're just really trying to. I mean,
Incredible Crisis also hurts your hand, but
Also belongs in hell.
well, here's the thing: Crash Bandicoot's too
Let's
low,
just hate his hand.
right?
Crash too low.
That's true.
But
Bandicoot is absolutely too low. Yes.
would you really put this below 1-2 Switch?
Yep. I haven't even played 1-2
No,
Switch.
I would not actually.
I think putting this below 1-2 Switch is ludicrous.
1-2 Switch should be in hell.
I think that this game is. I mean, the games that are below 1-2 Switch.
I
make
think
sense
I would put
besides
it
Crash,
below
but-
Nintendo Land if I'm being.
I mean, it would definitely go below.
So?
Nintendo Land's the absolute cap, but I also think Nintendo Land's too low. But
Well, I would also put it below Mark of Cree.
would it go
Even if you move into Nintendo Land,
above?
I would still be hot.
How do we feel about it again? How do you? I'm asking Brandon actually. Jackie Chan Stuntmaster.
I would. It's. I don't know. Jackie Chan Stuntmaster is a wholly fine video game. Like, it's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
But it's not. It just doesn't do anything special.
Yeah. Well, I've never played One Finger.
Like, I wouldn't be fussed with it below Jackie Chan Stuntmaster, but also,
I think I rate the novelty of 1-2 Switch higher maybe than you guys do.
Sure. I mean, I can hear the argument. I'm not opposed to it.
Because the multiplayer of Prime Hunters is fun, but it's clearly still in the vein of like GoldenEye 10 years before, right? Like it's arena based, that type of stuff. And so I do think that to me,
1-2 Switch does offer something completely different from anything else.
yeah, and
right.
I know that maybe it's a weird thing to bring into it, but I think 1-2 Switch is actually really great for kids. Like it's I worked with
kids.
Yeah, I worked with a bunch of kids that were under like 13, right, for a while. And when I would bring the Switch sometimes like to school, they would all. It was the one game I didn't have to explain. They just immediately got it, and I think there's actually something.
Immediately got it. Yeah,
there's something actually kind of nice about
fucking
that.
every single time you boot up a game, there's an explanation video.
No. I mean, they would skip that every single time, but they would know. They would just do a quick draw. I could walk away.
It is like 2 seconds long, though. They never took that long.
Yeah.
And I have genuinely laughed and smiled a lot playing 1-2 Switch.
And also, you didn't have crippling hand pain.
No, I did that boxing game for a couple hours. I was like, oh man, I'm feeling it,
Okay, here's where I'm feeling now. I'm thinking below Intelligent Cube. Is kind of where I'm feeling.
You're just like
You
5
played
spots away.
Intelligent
You should just keep going.
Have you
No,
played
no.
Intelligent Cube?
I played Intelligent Cube, but I
You
like
did.
Intelligent
Okay.
Cube.
I think
I'm not,
Intelligent Cube might
that's
be
not
too low.
That's not a knock on Intelligent Cube.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if you played it.
I also think it's just too low. I think Intelligent Cube is too low. That might be the problem, but here's the thing.
Maybe a little too
So,
low. I wouldn't.
This
fuss
is
about
okay
it.
then, because I look at the bottom list. There's a lot of fucking weird stuff going on here.
Mhm.
I think I'm convinced of putting it below 1-2 Switch,
Mhm.
but then I don't know how it compares to One Finger Death Punch. I do know how it compares to Crash Bandicoot.
I would put it above One Finger Death Punch.
Above One Finger Death Punch.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that
mean,
spot
yeah,
then.
I mean, it's it's
One Finger
worse.
Death Punch is one idea,
But again, my biggest sticking points are Crash Bandicoot and Intelligent Cube. But like, I don't.
I mean, it absolutely is not better than Crash Bandicoot, but Crash Bandicoot
No.
is like criminally too fucking low on this list.
Yeah, it's insane.
Right. Okay, so
The Royal Rankings coming up.
okay, if we're all right, I mean, if we all agree that Crash Bandicoot's too low, I'm okay with putting it above One Finger Death Punch. Then,
Sure.
all right.
All right, there it is. Metroid Prime Hunters for the Nintendo DS. Surrounding at 143 on the list. Surrounding it at 141, Jackie Chan Stunt Master. 142, 1-2 Switch. 143, Metroid Prime Hunters. 144, One Finger Death Punch. 145, Crash Bandicoot. That is the
Hopefully not for long.
not for long. That is the podcast for this week. Does anyone want the final phrase?
I mean, I always want it, but if someone else wants it, you can go ahead.
You can have him, Muzzy.
Okay. Well, Moose, what do you think on that? Let me do some final plugs. If you enjoy this podcast, you made it this far, hopefully you can rate us 5 stars on your podcast service of choice. Also, subscribe to us on said podcast service. It helps a lot. Follow us on twitter.com/jumpupsupercast, where we will post whenever episodes go live of this podcast every Monday and every other Thursday for the Jump Up Supercast Game Club. Upcoming big game picks from our patrons, which you can help pick a game club once every round by doing subscribing to us on Patreon at patreon.com/jumpupsupercast. Silent Hill 2, which coincidentally enough, one of the rumors I left on the wayside, the guy who made Silent Hill may be working on a new horror IP for Sony. How about that? So,
wow.
And
in another one, there might be 2 Silent Hill games in production right now, too.
It's true.
Ooh.
So, when those news stories happen, you got to know how to feel about Silent Hill 2 by listening to the Game Club.
I think it has to do with the fact that they heard we're going to be playing Silent Hill 2, so...
they're getting the JUS bump,
Yes, absolutely.
But so you can, of course, make sure by following us on Twitter to make sure not to miss any when that goes live. As well, you can go onto twitch.tv/jumpupsupercast, where every Wednesday Moose is locked in to stream one of the games of hell. He's 2.5 hours into Sticker Star. How do you feel?
The game definitely belongs in hell. But it's not that bad, surprisingly. It's fine. It's kind of stupid, kind of terrible game design, but
that's how I feel about Hunters.
But it no longer offends me.
I felt the opposite.
My hate.
I felt like the game wasn't as bad, but it was more offensive than I remembered it being.
Okay, well, that's
So we'll see. Well,
different strokes.
Different strokes. No shame in it. But that is obviously every Wednesday, so you can make sure to get that notification by following us on Twitch.
I guess when this podcast goes live, the next game we're playing is going to be a contentious one: Metroid Other M.
Mom. So you don't want to miss that, of course.
So much Metroid on this podcast.
So much dog shit Metroid.
Wow. But that is the podcast for this week. I want to thank you all for listening once again. And now, Moose, your final phrase.
Okay. I was thinking about this. I'm playing through Paper Mario Sticker Star. It's not a great game. I'll be honest with you. I think you could find it on YouTube by now. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Anyway, as excited I am about the prospects about a new Paper Mario that returns to the style of the original 2 games that I just love so much. Even if Paper Mario gets announced and it's not what I want, we don't have to be angry about it. I think it's time we let go of that. We don't have to rise up, okay, gamers? All right, we can just chill out. It's not what we want. Don't buy it. Move on with our lives. Goodbye. If it is what we want, but it's not exactly what we want, same deal. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Life will go on. Thousand Year Door is always there. I just replayed it like 2 years ago. It holds up. Play it again. Play Thousand Year Door again. Play Paper Mario 64 again. You'll be fine.